time long ago, there lived in the kingdom of Gallowmere a sorcerer named Zarok. This arrogant, pitiless man hated his fellow citizens for their simple and peaceful ways. So he raised an army of demons and set out to take the realm for his own. The king's champion, Sir Daniel Fortescue, led the militia into battle against this unholy horde. Songs are still sung of how he spearheaded the charge deep into the accursed multitude, how demons fell before him like wheat before the scythe, and how at last, though mortally wounded, he destroyed the sorcerer utterly. Fortescue went down in history that day as the hero of Gallowmere, and a time of peace began, which was to last for 100 years. And then the sorcerer returned.
Hey guys, Southpaw here, and I have returned for another solo LP. This time we're doing my favorite PlayStation game, period. Medieval for the PlayStation 1. Or PlayStation. Well, let's go ahead and start a new game right here. First, a cutscene. Dan's Crypt. The best place to go if you're looking for a dead Dan.
It has risen again, Sir Daniel Fortescue. See? The hero of Gallowmere who fell at the first charge. The fog of war and the shrouds of time conspire to turn the arrow fodder into the saviour of the day. But we knows better. Let it alone. Fate has given it a second chance. A chance to forget the ignoble truth. A chance to defeat Zarok and live up to the legend. We hopes it does well.
Alright, that should do it for all the dialogue and cutscenes for now. Right now we're in Dan's Crypt, the very first level of the game. It's a very small, basically boxed-in room. Well, there is one secret passage, but we'll get to that later. Basically, the only reason you're here is to get your weapons and get your shields and a life bottle and throwing knives, which are probably the worst projectiles in the game. I think they're the worst. I never use them unless I have ammo for nothing else. For now, I'll just stick to the small sword. It's your best weapon until you get the hammer. Alright, the first level we'll go to is the graveyard, but after we save. We don't want to lose our progress, like, midway through. Trust me, that's happened before, you don't want that to happen. Oh, also, if you're wondering, the first save file is my third run-through of the game on my own. Basically, what I'm doing for that one is I'm running through the game with the bare necessities. That means no chalices, just the small sword, the throwing knives, and whatever the actual game gives me. Like, naturally, story-wise. And those are the first enemies you will face. Zombies. Genius. Just, we've never seen that before, have we? Well, they only take 2 hits to get down, just don't get hit. I think they do about 10 damage to you. 10 damage, yeah. So yeah, anyways, yeah. This is, without a doubt, my favorite PlayStation game, period. A long time ago, I got a demo disc from the PlayStation magazine, This was one of the games that was on the demo. I think it was Crash 3, Metal Gear Solid, and Brave Fencer Musashi, and this. This one I played the most. I think there was about a 30-minute time limit, so I would see how far I could get into the game. I think the first I ever got was the chapel. Yeah, that was the farthest I ever got. I remember one time I actually went to the chapel, I was facing the boss, and then right before I beat him... Oh, also, see that? This is the chalice. You need this if you want to get into the Hall of Heroes. But in order to do that, you have to get the chalice filled 100%. How do you do that? You kill enemies. See, I'm already at 80% right now. You just have to keep killing enemies, and then when it tells you the chalice can now be collected, go get it. Now, in the first couple levels, it's pretty obvious where it's at, but later on, they get a little bit more well hidden. They're not too bad, but you'll find them. See? Right there. Now we're gonna go over here and get the chalice. Usually after I get the, enough to fill the chalice, I usually don't bother with enemies unless they're in my way. If they're in my way, they're getting their asses kicked. And with the statue, you have to, the way that the wings are facing, you have to rotate it the opposite way. And now we can go to the Hall of Heroes. Woohoo! In the Hall of Heroes, you'll meet other heroes that will give you weapons and other stuff if you visit them more than once. And if you get all the chalices, you'll get a different ending. In this playthrough, I'm going to try and get the different ending, but, well, I'll try. That's all I can say. Well, we're about 3/4 of the way done with the level. Let's go ahead and, if I can get up here. Yeah, I already have 2 life bottles. Trust me, you will need to find life bottles. You will need them for the final battle. And you'll see why later on the playthrough. And that was the graveyard. That was like, what? 4-5 minutes? 5 minutes it took? Right. Well, now we're in the Hall of Heroes. We're gonna visit the very first hero. But after some more smack talk from this asshole.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the bravest warriors from history spend eternity, feasting, singing, and arm wrestling. If they think you're worthy enough, you may be able to persuade them to give you a new weapon.
So yeah, as he said, if we talk to one of them, we'll get a new weapon. You have to go to the one that's glowing like this guy right here.
Captain Fortescue, it's me, Canny Tim. Does the battle go well? How I wish I could fight at your side again, sir. But hold, you could take my crossbow. It's got rapid fire and you can ricochet the darts off walls to shoot around corners. I used it at the Battle of Gallowmere. After you were slain, I shot Zarok's champion, Lord Kardok, a clean kill through the eye at some 1,000 yards. Not that there's anything clever about shooting someone in the eye, sir. Oh, goodbye, sir.
And we got the crossbow, the very first weapon from the Hall of Heroes. Now we don't have to use those shitty knives. Daggers. They still suck. Well, let's get out of here and go on to the next level. The cemetery, I think it's called. Yeah, look at me. Favorite PlayStation game of all time. What's the next level called? I think it's Cemetery Hill. Well, first we gotta save. You always want to save. Aha, Cemetery Hill. Dignity received. Yeah, I don't know any more in-game dialogue from the remake. Probably because the remake sucks. Oh, wait, hang on. More dialogue.
So, even from the shackles of death, my old enemy pursues me. You're too late, Fortescue. Already my army has risen from the grave. You will never leave this necropolis.
And that was Zarok, the main villain of the game. Our goal is to defeat him. Yes. Well, anyways, we're in Cemetery Hill, but the first playthrough, there's not much you can do, so we're just gonna go ahead and head for the exit. If you want to get the Chalice in here, you have to have a club or the Iron Hammer, which we don't get until, I think, the third visit to the Hall of Heroes. Yeah, it's basically we're gonna be... Hang on.
We have failed the Master. We give our lives.
My apologies, I didn't mean to interrupt that. Anyways, if we want to get the Chalice here, we have to have either a club or the Iron Hammer, which we don't get until, like, the third visit to the Hall of Heroes. So we're gonna go ahead and mosey on. After we save. Saving will be the most time-consuming thing in this playthrough. Probably not. Ooh. And now we're going into one of my favorite levels of the game, the Hilltop Mausoleum. I can honestly say this probably is my favorite level next to the Insane Asylum. The Insane Asylum is more of a gauntlet than a level, but it's still pretty fun. Also, these little gnomes are kind of tricky to hit because they like to move around a lot. Well, the ones carrying the torches. They only take 4 hits to beat, though, but they will take some health. Also, yeah, we found a club, but I'm not going to use it unless I absolutely have to. We're going to have to save that for something I'll show you later. So let's go ahead and break into these and see if there are any secrets. This one has a vial. Yeah, it has an energy vial. I don't think the other ones do, but I think I went ahead and broke those open just to see. Nothing in there. And nothing in there, but there are other ones we can dive into. This one has a gold sack. Yep. And now we have to go down the one where it takes us somewhere else and switch and get the sword. And yes, you can break those with the sword. It makes it easier. A lot easier. But we're gonna have to switch back to the club to break the shard glasses on the floor. I never knew why you just couldn't break those with a sword too. I mean, you can break the actual walls, but you can't do those. Also, with the club, if you hit them dead on, it will kill them in one hit like that. But let's go ahead and just switch the sword. Sword has more range. Well, when they're not moving around, so... Anyways, once we get the Earth Rune, you can see that the floor is collapsing. Probably because the subtitle told you. But yeah, since we don't have the Daring Dash, you should probably book it the moment you get that rune. Or else you're probably going to fall and lose. Yeah, if you fall in this game, you lose your entire life. You don't lose 10, you don't lose 50, you lose the entire thing. That's bad. That's why you have to have as many life bottles as you can find. I don't think there's one in this level. Probably not, but there is something we're going to find. Once I take care of these assholes, because you can get the Chalice in this level. That's something I'm about to show you here in a little bit once we get the requirements. Also, yeah, the ones that don't carry torches like that can steal your weapons. And you want to get them back before they go back into the crawl hole, or else you're not going to see them. Until you exit the room and come back and get it. And we'll go in here, and that's the Lonely Piano Man, who's doomed to play the same 5 notes for all eternity, unless he got more sheet music. Hint, hint. And as you probably noticed, there are 2 more, well, yeah, 1 more area we can go to. We'll switch to the club right here, and be careful. You touch these, you so much as touch these glass shards, they will do damage. Break enough so I can get a free run. Chaos runes. Oh, that's something I didn't mention. How could I forget? Some areas can only be accessed if you have a certain rune. Earth, Chaos, and... shit, I don't remember the rest. Well, anyways, we found sheet music. Take notes. You probably saw that the floor collapse will start to collapse much faster than last time. So yeah, if you think you didn't have enough time the first time, yeah, be careful. because you more likely will fall the first time. I know I did. Anyways, let's go back into the Piano Man's room and give him the sheet music. Watch this. Watch this. We have broken from his curse, and we found the chalice. Now, there's just one more thing we gotta do in this level. So let's go back to where we were before. You know that chaos room, was it? Yep. Now, what I did here is, since you're more likely using the analog stick, right? Right. Well, in this area, you're so close to the glass shards when you're moving the block that you'll more likely run into it, so I just use the D-pad. Oh, also a little tidbit of knowledge. Medieval was one of the first games to use analog sticks. It was introduced around that time. Yeah, the more you know. Also, we have a copper shield, and we have a crossbow. Yeah, that's the other thing. If you don't have a light, you're not going to see where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you're probably going to get hit by something. Like the glass shards, which I probably should have broken. Well, anyways, enough dilly-dallying. Let's go face the first boss. Oh, well, gee! I never would have known! Thanks! Seriously, they couldn't make it more obvious. Basically, all you're doing is wait until he's vulnerable and then shoot him the first time. After a little bit of time, you'll see he's shooting glass shards. Do oval runs. You will not get hit. But I would hold down the triangle button for the shield just in case, because those will do damage. A good chunk of damage. But mostly it's just him jumping around. Shoot him some more, and the second time, he will emit a shield around you, which you need to break out of, or you're going to lose health. So just mash that X button and you'll be free. Jump around more. Occasionally he'll throw glass shards like that. All you gotta do is just jump over him. Easy. I'm sure even you could do that, right? Right, good. He'll jump to the center and we'll shoot him some more. Now the third time he'll emit a gigantic blast that will cover the entire room. Block. Like that. That will do a very good amount of damage. And he'll throw more glass shards, jump. And he'll occasionally try and jump on you. Very easy to maneuver away from. And the last few hits. 3, 2, 1. And he is defeated, and we get an item. Get this. Oh, I thought it was called Skeleton Key. I was about to make a joke. Shit! The game threw me off. Well, anyways. Second visit to the Hall of Heroes. But first, more dialogue.
Back from the battle so soon? It must think it is a hero by now. But only a true hero is worthy of a place in the Hall of Heroes. See the ghostly statue of your fraudster self? When it has turned solid, a true hero you will be.
You know, these guys can be very informative when they're not being dicks. Also, I want to show you something here. You know how I mentioned the ghost of your frauder self, quote unquote? There he is. Once you beat the game, that statue will go solid and you will become a true hero. Well, anyways.
Hurrah! I knew it would take more than an army of the evil dead to throw your strider. I've something that may help you on your quest, Captain. I give it to you freely, though I have no idea what it is.
Alright, and we got the third life bottle. Let's just try and find more of these. And let's go ahead and leave the Hall of Heroes on to the next part. And by that, I don't really mean the next part. Also, I'm going to note that the loading screens look very nice. I don't know why, but even the loading screen is mesmerizing. I don't know, I just like it, alright? I just like this game. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and save, but we will call this to a close. That was part 1 of Medieval. I will see you guys for part 2 when we will tackle a couple more secrets before we move on to the actual game. Well, more of the game. See you guys later.